are competing in, we are repeating in, we are believing in. It's time for us to shift our mind from best in the world to best for the world. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional. It creates a new world to mind a shift, intentionality, perceptuality, conceptuality. We are choosing to shift our mind to best for the world, best for our world. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional.
Right. So now it's actually time for a piece of streaming from a tree house. Believe it or not, I'm in a tree house in the middle of Lomma and waiting for a guest here. Stellan is, oh, here he comes actually. He's just ready to join me here.
Is it okay to come up here?
Of course.
Oh, thanks. Oh my,
Yep, you need to.
what a nice treehouse.
Yeah, isn't it?
Put this on here. So can we have this sit on?
Yes, absolutely.
What a wonderful day. We have rain here. Yeah, here we go.
All right.
Super. I can sit here and you can sit there, so we have a little bit distance.
Good distance and outside and everything,
Okay.
of course.
Yes, of course. So what a wonderful day. I love it when it rains.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, because when it rains, it also gives the trees and everything living new power and new energy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, water is actually one of the main, I would say, reasons to why we have life on Earth, I guess.
It is. And of course, the trees are have an important part with
Yeah.
the water.
Yes.
They're,
definitely.
I just recently heard this, actually. I don't know if you know, but if you're on a big piece of land, a continent,
Mhm.
if it wasn't for the trees, it would only rain like 600 kilometers from the coast.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because the clouds create over the ocean,
Mhm.
and then they let go of the water fairly close to the coast.
Mhm.
And then the trees, they suck up the water or pump up the water from the ground, and then they evaporate it like sweat,
Oh,
almost.
Yeah.
And they create new clouds.
Mm.
And this way the rain is sort of transported.
So there's a circular system.
Yeah. So they're actually like pumps. They move the water inland. It's really cool.
Yeah, really fascinating. And what we're going to explore here in the treehouse, far as I know, is how can the knowledge that the tree possesses help us to build life-form organizations and life-affirming organizations. That's the topic of today in this treehouse.
Fantastic.
I really love it. Maybe we should just look around here. We are now sitting in the southern part of Sweden. It's early spring. And still there are no leaves or any... you can see the sprouts are coming. There are like small, tiny, which will become apples and leaves in a couple of months.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fascinating how much of a transformation that the trees goes through every year.
Sort of the same cycle in a way, but every year new things.
Yeah,
are
new
created.
branches, definitely new apples, because I
Definitely
wouldn't like the other ones. I still have some of it. Maybe I can find one from last year. No, I dropped it. Okay, it's not longer looking like an apple. It's like it has ceased to be, more or less. So it has gone to meet its maker.
That you cannot even compare to apples.
No, it can't. But there is like still some kind of a way to know that it has been an apple. And some of the apples have served as food for the birds and the different animals I probably have here in the garden.
Yeah,
And,
because we're actually in your garden.
yeah, we're in my garden.
Amazing.
Amazing. And this treehouse is a fascinating thing.
Mm.
There are no nails into the tree at all.
Oh.
It was supported by the branches themselves, and also when it was created, when you stick stuff into a certain pattern, it's stuck.
Yeah,
And then the
you
tree
build
has
the
grown
houses.
tremendously since this treehouse first was designed, and it has been rebuilt a couple of times. We now get a roof here. It's quite nice now as it rains. Maybe
Yeah.
you're outside the roof.
Yeah,
but
but I
I'm
have a
inside.
hat, so I'm okay.
And so it hopefully the tree is okay with us having the tree
Yeah.
house in it. I don't know, of course, but I hope.
Do you think they're sort of communicating in a way?
Yeah, definitely.
Mm.
Why not?
Why not?
I mean, what are the arguments to why it wouldn't communicate?
With the house.
Just because
of
I don't
course.
understand doesn't mean it doesn't communicate. I mean,
True.
most languages on this planet I can't grasp at all, and that doesn't mean it's not a communication. It just means that
Ooh.
I'm not aware of the content.
Good one. Yeah, there's a lot of things happen that we can't explain, but it still happens. Yeah.
And here we are in the top of the tree,
Hmm.
but it still has branches stretching a lot, really up to the sun. So when the sun
Yeah.
comes, what the tree does is like it goes in the direction of the sun, and it goes to meet the energy flow from the sun.
Right. Yeah.
So if we would do some kind of a simple comparison with an organization, we have branches that sticks out, and they all stretch to get some more energy.
Hmm.
And if the sun is like the I don't know what we can call it. I mean, to not get too spiritual, we can still call it a creator.
Sure.
Or some energy source.
Life giver. or-
Yeah, and what the tree is doing is it's stretching to reach as high as it can.
Hmm.
But there is a highest tree in the world. You know that?
Well, I guess it has to be.
Yeah, it has to be. I wasn't aware of this a couple of months ago. My son, he's now 13. He said to me, "Okay, Dad, you talk a lot about trees.
Hmm.
How tall is the tallest tree in the world?" I don't know. Do you know how to sort it out?
How to even measure it?
Do you know how to find what tree is the highest? It's called Google. Yeah, you didn't know that beforehand.
Amazing.
Neither did I.
Amazing.
Amazing.
I'm
So
not
what
very-
happened was that we Googled it, and there is a single tree actually, an individual tree that is the highest tree, of course. I mean, I like the tallest man, the tallest tree.
Yeah.
So this tree, it was. And this is funny because it's in the redwoods in California,
Mhm.
and it's 115.65 meters tall.
Wow.
Mhm. And the first thing is that it has gotten a name. It's called Hypericum. So it has this specific individual has gotten a name. And the second interesting thing is that the lumberjacks, or whatever they call them, those that work in this area, I don't know what they call them. Not lumberjacks, maybe, I don't know. Those gardening people gardening
Okay.
yeah.
Rangers. maybe?
Yeah,
Park
the Rangers, yeah, park ranger. Yeah, so
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
Not that they sell, they cut them down.
cut them down.
And to
Rangers.
be able to not find the tree, it's not mentioned exactly the position. of it.
Oh, okay.
So it's like
Google knows how tall it is, but not where it is.
yeah.
Or-
And the third interesting thing is that the last time they measured, I think it was 2 years ago, something. If you can Google it,
Mhm.
it was measured by what do you call it?
Yeah, I was just about to ask. How do you
Yeah,
even measure it?
yeah, with a line. So someone must have like climbed the top and dropped it down. I don't know, but with a line, they measured it. And do you know how they measure a tree? From top to
Ground, I guess.
the ground. And how tall is a tree then? 115.65. But that's not true. That's just
That's what
between
you
the ground.
see, right?
That's what you can see. Yeah. So there is still a huge amount of the tree that can't be seen and can't be measured with a line, metric line. Fantastic. Yeah, I like that one. I'm also thinking of how much is beneath.
Yeah.
how much of the tree is it that we can't see?
Does anyone know?
Does
Does
anyone
Google know?
Yeah, does Google know? Maybe.
Maybe not.
So if you
Oh.
try to Google it, you will probably find at least some pictures where they also show the root and the root system.
Yeah.
So if we're now sitting in the crown, we can call it the what's in the organizations, the services
This
and
is
then the products we have.
the visible part
Yeah.
that's available.
All those
to us.
branches
Yeah.
and leaves and so on. And then we have the stem, of course.
Mm.
That could be the how, the way it works.
Yep. Mhm.
And then there is the root collars, the big arms that goes down into the earth
Mhm.
like this. I would call them the whys,
Mm.
the reasons, the
reasons
persons
for-
for existing.
For existing, for being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it goes out to a huge root system.
Mhm.
And if you look into those pictures, you will see that there is as much beneath the surface that it's as above.
Really fascinating thought, actually.
So above, so below.
Yeah,
And the interesting thing is that this system of roots, it's like intertwined. And it's intertwined with what is going on there.
Mhm.
I mean, there is like a soil that it's standing in, some
Yes.
kind of a, root environment. Maybe I don't know.
Root network.
Root network, root
Yeah.
network.
Yeah.
The internet, the web, and a lot of animals and a lot of various sponges and stuff
Mm.
like that.
Yeah.
And as we sit here,
Fungi.
there is also stuff like that. Fungus. I don't know exactly what this is, but at least there is some kind of I don't know if you can see it here. There is some green. I don't know what's it called.
Well, it isn't moss, but
No, it's not moss.
it's
In
lava
Swedish, we
in
have
Swedish.
the Swedish word lava.
Lava.
So probably it's the same beneath the surface, I guess. So depending on what soil this apple tree that we're now sitting in, we're sitting in an apple tree.
Mm.
Depending on what soil, it can either flourish and nourish and bloom, or it can slowly die.
Mm.
And that happens with trees. And maybe later on we can show the tree that we have just next to us. That used to be a nice elm.
Mm.
But 2 years ago, or 2.5 years ago, during the summer in 2018 here in Sweden, it was very damp and dry. There came almost no rain, and it was, for a Swedish condition, quite hot.
It
One
was
could say.
for a very long time
Yeah.
as well.
And that was too much for that tree.
Mm.
And then it started to slowly die. It was too tough for it. And last summer, it took its last breath, I guess. And we did something else with it. So we can.
So how did that happen? Did it sort of shut down, branch?
Yeah, it shut
one
down,
at,
yeah.
one at a time.
One at a time. First, summer 2018, it was that hot that it dried out and all the leaves fell off. And then 2019, maybe 2/3 of the tree was green and 1/3 was everything but green.
Okay, yeah.
And then 2020, just maybe 1/5 of it was still having some, that you could see that life is still there.
Mm.
Talking about branches, they just fell off like this.
Wow.
And then we did something else because it serves more purposes than being a tree. It serves more purposes in this garden.
Yeah,
So
it seems.
maybe you can show it in the end when
Yeah,
I
we
get
can do
down
it.
from the
Mhm.
treehouse. You can show it a little bit, but there's like a third. Okay, so back to the tree.
Mm, yeah, it's swaying a bit. In
Yeah,
the
it
wind,
is.
actually. Yeah.
So it's fascinating by this tallest tree in the world. I mean, how do they climb it? It was a tricky to climb this tree, I guess.
Yeah, that was hard enough,
Mm,
at
that's
least
hard
for
enough.
us.
The big kids up in
The
the
big kids.
treehouse.
Yeah.
So okay, so what happens in a tree then? What makes it alive, and how can it bear fruit? I would say this is an interesting tree actually because it is like a hybrid. I don't know what it's called exactly when you take different sorts of apples into one main branch.
Mm.
And what have happened is that it's called a family tree. It's very nice. So it has 4, I guess it was 5 many years ago, but now it's 4 different sorts of apples, and 2 of them are like in enormous amounts of fruit.
Wow. So from the same root system, stem, there are 5 different sorts.
Yeah, no more. No, nowadays 4.
4 now.
Different, could be areas of.
Yeah, that's an interesting parallel to companies as well.
Business areas.
Yeah.
This business area is in that direction. It's a good one. Also in this direction. In this direction, it's an early business area. It comes early in the spring, and it doesn't do much. You have you can actually count the number of apples. So it gives some results. The apples are the results of the tree's efforts.
Yeah.
And it's and they are okay, but those are really good over there, and they come in large amounts. I actually have to invite my neighbors and people passing through the street here. Do you want some apples? Yeah, we want some apples.
So do you think that has anything to do with the direction towards the sun, wind?
Could be.
Or...
Could be. It's a very sunny place, and there was a shade before from this BL, but I don't know if that was good or bad. I don't know, but it has always been a lot of apples in this tree. And then you can ask yourself, what are the conditions behind it? Of course. I would say this apple tree survived 2018 because it has been here for quite a long time. I think it is at least 20 years or maybe something like that. It's not that old, but the other one is a little bit younger, and it was too much for that. And
it's good for an apple tree. That's correct.
And what I'm thinking of is what goes on beneath the surface, then, and how can that relate to the results in the apples?
I guess the soil in the first place needs to have a lot of, I don't know how you say, nutrition.
Nutrition, yeah, different types of
tree nutrition.
Tree nutrition. I don't know what they eat.
But something from
the ground, yeah. Sucks up with the roots.
Yes, water
and then it goes up. Do you know how it goes up?
Well, there's something with what's it called, sap.
Sap.
Goes just beneath the what's it called, the bark. Yeah, the bark. At least. But then again, how does that work?
Yeah, how does that work? Yeah. I have realized that there are 2 main ways. One is from beneath going up with energy and so on. And not energy, more like building blocks. It's called xylem. And then there is
like
another
protein.
For us, probably the same. Building blocks. Lego.
Okay.
And then from above, it's called phloem. Phloem is the direction from the photosynthesis.
That's right. There's got to be some flow from the sun, and energy from the sun goes down, and energy from the ground goes up.
Yeah, basically. And as the tree is whole all the time, I mean, if you cut a tree by the ground, the tree doesn't say, "Oh no, now you cut down my stem and my crown. Now I die," or "Oh no, you cut off my root system. Now I die." It will die nevertheless, right? So it has to be whole all the time, even if we can't see what's beneath the surface. It's still whole.
It's there and it's whole, and it's absolutely necessary. Totally necessary.
So even if we have something, we can call it culture down there, and we have the structure up here. Very often in our organizations, we have separated them, and the only thing that really counts is what can be measured. And to be really harsh, you could say there are organizations that are standing, looking at the apples and shouting, "Grow!" So
without caring about the rest of the system.
And not maybe even realizing that we have those different branches. But if I would have cut down one of them, the treehouse would have fallen off. So the big branches with the big business areas here.
So if you can build a tree house, at least to have a fairly healthy tree.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Unless you You hurt it with nails and
Yeah,
stuff
you
like
gotta
that.
be careful.
Yeah, you have to be careful with a tree.
It's amazing that you actually do this.
If I would have built it today, I probably would have asked the tree if it's okay with it. If I would have been this tree, if I use my kind of empathy to see if I can put myself in the roots of the tree, I would have thought it would be quite nice to have kids here during summer. I maybe wouldn't like two older men sitting in the tree house reflecting on it during rain period. But I don't know.
I don't know.
Mm.
No, but
I still trying to find ways to communicate here.
we're adding some weight at
Mm.
least to the house
Yeah,
right
definitely.
now.
But it feels strong, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just sways a little bit
Sways
with the
a little
wind, but
bit,
definitely feels healthy and strong, as I said. And new sprouts, new leaves are coming soon. As I said.
Yeah, and hopefully the new fruit is also this summer and
Sure.
autumn. And quite early in the spring, there will be fantastic flowers. Very
Actually,
beautiful. It's not that far from now, maybe a month to a month. Yeah, something like that. Way off. I can't even imagine.
no, but
So what do we want to do here in the treehouse? Isn't it like inspire organizations to be whole?
yeah,
And
think about your whole system.
yeah, I know. You can cut down the tree. You can make it into what do you call that? Chop it into pieces, and you
Yeah.
can build a machine. But you can never go the other way around.
That's true.
So the machine is super efficient in doing a lot of stuff, but it's not alive.
It's not alive.
And if we're going to have people in an organization that are alive, I guess it could be nice that the organization also is alive.
Yes. Alive and whole. And then the people can come in as whole persons.
Yeah, they can bring in their knowledge, their passion, their dreams, their love, their whatever it is. Measurement also, of course. I mean, I would say there is some kind of a importance in counting data, of course.
Sure. Yeah. At least.
But if I have them in abundance,
Mhm.
there is a problem because I can't eat all of them and I can't
No.
give away everything. And I actually have that problem with that branch. That is too much for even my neighborhood, my closest neighborhood.
So that is a
take care of.
little bit too productive.
Yeah,
Would
either
you
you
say
could say
so?
that, or you
No.
could say that abundance is one thing, but if you like have grow as your only purpose, then what should I do with everything? I mean, I would have been satisfied with 1/5 or 1/6 of
Mhm.
what this tree
Yeah.
produces during the year.
That's an interesting thought. Yeah.
Of course, I can do new business. I can do like apple juice. I did that once. There was a kid a couple of streets away who had, together with his father, they had like a juice compressor. I don't know exactly what it was. But, I took all my apples. I went there and they squeezed it and put it in bottles and I got a nice apple juice back.
But still, once you've drinking that or sold it or whatever, it's gone.
Yeah, of course. But that brought me a lot of joy that summer, and of course I can do that. But what should I do with all of the apples that will? They're just laying here, and not even the animals can eat it any longer.
No.
So maybe that's what I can contribute with right now in the treehouse. I'm
I had
a little
one.
bit chill. You had one, yeah. Well, go
I
for it.
had one thought, and that was about people coming into the tree with their roots and root
Yeah.
system. And I wonder if they need to be sort of compatible with the tree, the roots of the tree, or do they?
I guess so. I think that you could see that the people here are different aspects of this tree. Of course, it has one side that's in the sunny side. I don't know. They call them extroverts, I guess.
They tend to.
tend
Move
to
it
move
this
on. And the other ones, they are limited by that wall over there.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I
Like-
see it as aspects of the same tree, I would say. Of
Mm.
course, if you like, I mean, the fifth of those branches that was here,
Mhm.
it didn't really fit in. Actually, that
Didn't
was
fit
why it was. Yeah, there were a lot of problems with that. It was
Okay.
in the middle,
Mhm.
and when you go for an apple tree, you're supposed to have it like this, I guess.
Yeah.
It was odd. It didn't bear any fruit. It was, there were problems with it. So,
Some bird in the tree.
and hopefully that could have, if it were good in person, I wouldn't chopped it off. It's more
No.
like maybe it's time to find another tree.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I mean that's the context, and right now the context is this garden, and I'm very glad that this tree seems at least to like to be here,
Yeah.
because it's a little bit stuck.
It is.
But the other one, the one that you're going to show to the audience
Mhm,
in a couple of minutes or something,
Yeah.
it actually came from another place. It was on the in the center of this small city that I live in. They rebuilt it, reformed it some 10 years ago. And at that point, it was quite a small tree. It was like, maybe the stem was like my arm.
Mm.
So I asked, can I have that tree? And they were, you should have come 20 minutes ago, because then you could have a big one. And I was unsatisfied with this. It was 4.5 meters tall, so it was quite tall from the ground and up. And it also had a root.
Oh
It
yeah.
was an
How
odd
big was
root.
the root?
It was a root that went, if this is a tree, the root went like this,
Wow.
another 4 meters.
Okay.
So I was glad, because I guess otherwise it would have been impossible to get it out.
Mhm.
So I got this long root collar that I needed to dig down 0.5 meter. So it was like
And the root was sort of growing horizontal.
yeah, and then I had some sticks, or bigger sticks, what do you call it? 3 of them surrounding it. I call it a mental support, because I didn't mount it, so it was just
Oh.
there for mental support.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, I love that. It was so funny, because it was really going
and it
straight.
worked.
Yeah, it worked. It was so
Yeah.
straight. It was like, I don't go there because I see that. I don't know how it felt or what it did, but I was thinking of connecting it with some kind of a tightening down,
Mhm.
but I didn't need to do that.
Like municipalities typically do.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's very interesting, because you can actually see the same if you look up in the crown of the tree,
Yeah.
that the branches seem to keep.
Yeah, it's not often that they
distance.
collide.
They never collide, I would say. Well, very
Maybe
seldom.
not.
At least, so they seem to find their way into open space, or whatever you want to call it.
It's very
without-
seldom that you see one going through another.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
At least
interesting.
in healthy trees, I guess.
And
So-
as I'm now going to leave, I'm just going to say something about this bird house village.
Hmm.
It was like this when I realized last summer that, okay, my elm is dead. What can I do? Because it has served me well. It has been a fantastic elm. It has more purposes than just being an elm. It was a room for at least one family of birds every summer.
Mhm.
It also the place for a swing. You can see it's a little bit later. And also, what do you call that when you
Yeah, I know what you mean.
slide?
Slide.
Yeah. So maybe you can show it a little bit when I get down.
Yeah.
And when you wave away, I will stop the stream. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Do we have anything else to say?
Oh,
How is the life in the treehouse?
well, it's actually quite relaxing and nice, even though the weather is not, well, the weather is like it is, obviously,
Yeah.
but it's still nice here. There's some squeaking going on.
Yeah, it is.
Remember
It's
that
the
it's moving.
yeah.
So it's I feel alive, and I feel that the tree around me is definitely alive and healthy, and yeah, it's surprisingly nice.
I should have brought me some gloves, because I'm a little bit freezing on my fingertips. So
Yeah, well, thanks for joining me here. In the,
yeah, and thanks
the
to
tree.
all of you joining
Thank
us, and
to all of you.
Roland will take care of
Hang
you.
on for a minute or two.
And I will go in, and as you say to me, Stella, now it's enough. Then I just cut the screen. No, Phil, that's enough. See if I can get down. But for now, I'm leaving. Oh, whoops! Be careful here, because it's very slippery.
Yeah.
Oops.
All right. So we'll continue, and I think I should try to dismount the camera for you all to see the elm. Let's see if we can do this. Oh, sorry, I'm covering. There we go. There we go. So stand up here. Standing up in the treehouse now. So
Okay,
can you see-
now I see what you see here. So do you hear me?
Very good. Yes, I do. I do.
Oh, okay.
So
Nice,
I'm
yeah.
trying to get the. Actually, I'm gonna remove
Arm
the
way. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna
Gorilla
remove
grip.
it like so. Now
Super.
you're free. So there it is, and I'll try actually to go down and get a little bit closer if we have a few minutes.
Yeah, you can. So if you slip, then it will be very fun for all of us.
If I slip, you just you can terminate the stream and we're done. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so when you get down, Roland, couldn't you just move the camera around and show the treehouse also? That we just.
Yeah. Of course. So here it is.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, fantastic. Thanks.
I'll go in a little bit closer. So here we.
Yeah.
Phone here.
Okay, and
Okay, I'm now approaching the tree that once was
Okay.
a mighty elm and now is some kind of a bird village.
yeah, it's a bird village. I invited the kids in the neighborhood for a workshop this autumn, and everyone got to design their own village or villa. Yeah, you can see there's also some on the other side. If you turn around, if you
Yeah,
go around the
I'll-
tree.
I'll take you on a.
And there were
Over.
three stations, more or less station, or what do you call it, smaller workshops. First, you design your house. You could you can draw whatever you liked, and then the second one was that we chopped it up in we had some kind of a machinery help, and then the third one was to paint it. So.
Wow.
Some of those were quite fantastic. All of them, I would say, were fantastic, and some of them were extraordinary complicated, I would say.
Yeah, there's some a lot of creativity involved here. I can see.
Yeah.
I've never seen bird houses like this.
Oh.
Fantastic. And here's the.
So this
swing.
summer will be the first summer with hopefully birds in all of those houses, and there is the swing. That's right.
There.
I'm actually thinking of now ending the stream. Would that be okay for you, Roland?
Okay, I think we've seen it all. I'm just
Yeah.
going to show one view of the treehouse again from this angle.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us here, and thank you, Stellan, for having me in your garden.
Yeah, thank you for having me in the conversation in the Treehouse Talks. Maybe we can pick this concept up and deepen it more with maybe some tree expert or some kind. I mean, we're just ordinary tree people. We're not tree experts.
Yeah, we are ordinary tree lovers with some knowledge maybe. But, yeah, that's a really good idea.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Take care, everyone, and see to that you get up in a tree house near you this summer. And if you don't have one, why not building one? Take care, everyone.